Ready the Horses was an album that we recorded actually in late 2015. Me and a bunch of friends had just finished a month-long tour opening up for the Waterboys all across the UK. And the day after the tour finished, we went down to a studio in East Sussex and started laying it down, all live to 2-inch tape, like the good old days. And yeah, it was just a few days of playing and singing songs and making a record. I'd never done it before, for one. I'd never done tape before, and two, we had a friend who had just gotten an old tape machine in his lovely studio that he was eager to try out, and we were happy to be the guinea pig. So it was a lot of fun working on tape. It was a thrill. There's less room for error, which is a nice thing to have when you're in the studio. But soul and blues has been a part of my upbringing. I grew up listening to Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters and Otis Redding and Aretha. So it's always been there, but on this record I think I finally got to kind of showcase a little bit of that in my own music. A Cowboy in the Moon is sort of me, a Texan living in New York at the time, reaching back to my roots, I suppose. I think growing up in Texas, country music was always a little too close and a little too familiar, and therefore something that I didn't really want to have much to do with. But once I moved to New York, I kind of allowed a little bit of that to seep out, and yeah, it's a story about days gone by that may or may not have ever existed, but it sounds very romantic anyway. I would say the move to New York definitely impacted my songwriting. It's a busy place, it's a tough place, and you have to be ready to work to survive there. And I think it put a bit of urgency in my music, and allowed me to kind of explore things that maybe I was a little too hesitant to explore, like soul music in general, and kind of reaching beyond the typical singer-songwriter realm. Yeah, there are a couple of tunes on the new record that we had recorded before. California is one of them. That's a song that was on my very first album, which has thankfully disappeared from the internet. But it's a song that I've been playing live pretty much every gig since 2008, I think. And it's a song that people have consistently asked about after shows, and so it's one that we felt like we wanted to give a proper showcase to, and so we re-recorded it the way that I've been playing it live for years now for the new record, and I'm pleased with how this version has turned out. Another one is Your Heart Belongs to Me, which was on an EP of mine called Songs from Willow Street. That one was just me on guitar and singing, but I'd always heard it as a duet, and so for the record I was able to record it with my wife Claire, singing the female part of the duet, which was a special moment for us. Yeah, we were touring in the UK back in March, and that was the big full band tour, which was a blast. But for this one, we wanted to strip it back a little bit and kind of showcase the new songs from the record, how they were when they were written, which was just me on guitar and singing. So this tour is going to be myself and my wife on stage, just doing a duo, very kind of intimate, stripped back performance, which we're looking forward to. Yeah, it's a special thing for me and my wife to be able to tour together. Not all couples are able to do that. It's pretty common for musicians for one of them to be on the road and the other to be back at home, and so for us it's a great thing to be able to travel together, but then also to sing on stage together. It's a nice moment each night.